I'm Timothy Vigil, and this is Just Another Word, the Word of the Day podcast for storytellers. Episode 32, Archetype. A very typical example of a certain person or thing, an original that has been imitated. Today is February 1st, and we turn the page on our calendars for the first time this year. And we're also going to turn a corner in our craft. We spent the last month looking at sensory tools and a series of words that I'm just interested in. But I want to start looking at the people who inhabit our stories. We're going to spend the entire month of February going through a series which I am calling Character Archetypes. And we're going to start with the word archetype itself. So throughout this month, our goal, or my goal, is to look at the blueprints of humanity. We often think of archetypes as cliches to be avoided. But for storytellers, they're actually one of our greatest advantages. They are a universal shorthand that allows a reader or listener to understand a character's role instantly, giving us the freedom to then subvert those expectations and create something truly original. So let's understand archetype. Let's look at its structural DNA. It comes from Greek, arche meaning beginning or origin, and typos meaning a pattern, model, or type. Now, originally, a typos was the mark made by a blow or a stamp, like the image struck into a coin. An archetype was that original stamp. It was the first version. It's the first version of a character as well. Think of the hero, the mentor, the trickster. Those are original characters that have been copied over and over again. They have been imprinted on the human collective unconscious for thousands of years. Phonetically, it's a grand word. It's sweeping. It sounds like something that has existed since the beginning of time. I mean, we get words like archaic from the same root. Think of that. But archetype is this idea of the original, this idea of going back to the first. And now we can start to understand it. In a narrative, an archetype is not a cage. It's a foundation. When you use one, you're tapping into universal truth. The conflict is born when the archetype meets the individual. Think of the hero. They create conflict by being forced to choose between their duty and their personal yearning. It is the individual choices that are in there that make them original. But we can use the basic understandings of who a hero is to get a sense. We put Luke Skywalker into this situation, and he creates conflict by being forced to choose between staying with his aunt and uncle or going to save the universe. Eventually, that choice is taken away from him, but we get conflict and an interesting character from the specificity of his duty and his personal yearning. We have the mentor. They create conflict by withholding information until the protagonist is ready, creating a bridge of tension. See, in both of these cases, we are starting with a recognizable archetype, the hero or the mentor. We provide the reader with a sense of safety. These archetypes are immediately recognizable. So now that they have this safety net, and once they think they know who the character is, then we can pivot. We can reveal the unique, messy human beneath the stamp. But the archetype gives us a place to start and gives us an immediate shorthand so that everybody has a basic understanding of what's going on. See, archetypal characters often speak with a level of certainty or a specific vocabulary that reflects their stamp. Let's look at a sage character, an archetype of wisdom and knowledge. The sage might say something like, "You're searching for a peak that doesn't exist. Your current intent is clouded by a lack of perspective. Look not at the mountain, but at the path you carve to reach it." In this line, the sage focuses not on the immediate, but on the larger blueprint of the world. They have a focus, and they will fulfill their role. We will get more as we subvert this role as we go. But archetypes allow a reader to enter your story more quickly. We want people to understand that the character who just arrived is the wise old mentor. We want them to compare that to Gandalf or Obi-Wan. And then, once they have the idea, we can subvert that and show the messiness of a real person underneath this archetype. This month, we're going to explore a bunch of these stamps. We're going to look at them one by one through elements of how characters behave and ways that we can attack that. We'll look at how to use these to ground our story and how to break them to make unforgettable characters. Archetypes are the maps of humanity. They tell us where the mountains are. But it's up to you to decide how your characters will climb them. It's up to you to put the messy human inside of the stamp. To take the original and turn it into something unique. Not by throwing it out, but by changing it in subtle and interesting ways. I'm Timothy Vigil, and this has been Just Another Word. Happy writing.